Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Angel Says Life, where I talk about a series of things, lots of music, concerts, travel, thoughts about life, mom shit, all that kind of stuff. So, welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you're not new here and you're already subscribed to me. Thank you so much. My sub count is at 473. We are so close to 500. You know, my goal is to get to 1,000 followers. I want to get monetized on this channel, but I also have so many plans for this channel. Also, if you're interested in my art channel, because I am a painter and I'm a digital artist and I do a lot of different type of art, and if you find that interesting, I'll put a link to my other channel below, and I'll also put a link to my Etsy store in case you want to go support me there. So thanks in advance. All right. I'm excited because I'm just riding this train of Juneteenth right now. You know, I did a few Kendrick reactions for Juneteenth, and you know what? I'm going to do another one. And this one popped up on my feed, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this with you guys. We're going to react. It's the descendants of Black Seminoles celebrate Juneteenth in Mexico. Yes, come on. Let's go.
These are the sights and sounds of El Dia De Los Negros, or Day of the Blacks, celebrated on Juneteenth in a town called Nacimiento de los Negros in Coahuila, Mexico.
My name is Ashley Rodriguez, and I'm a descendant of the Black Seminole Indian. My first time actually going to Nacimiento, I was, I think, 5 or 6 years old. And then from then on, we'll kind of make trips periodically down to Nacimiento to celebrate Juneteenth. Nobody really knows about the Mexican side of it.
Nacimiento de los Negros, which translates to birthplace of the blacks, is the town where the Black Seminoles, or Negros Mascogos, settled in 1849, just a few hours south of the Texas border. They are descended from slaves who escaped to Florida and later made their way down to Mexico.
We're talking about the 18th century, more or less. When they got to Florida, they mixed culturally with the Indian Seminoles, and they became the Black Seminoles. They were removed during the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma, which was then the Indian Territory.
So once they got to Oklahoma, where they told them that they would be free and have land, they realized that it wasn't true, it was a lie, and they can come and take them anytime they wanted to, the masters. So they decided, they had to leave.
So it was a very harsh, terrible journey that our people had to go through to get to freedom. They didn't allow them freedom there in Oklahoma. And John, Horse, and Wildcat, they heard, that there's a place in Mexico that they could go to, that they could be free.
Mexico needed to hire people to defend the border from the possibility of more U.S. invasion. So what happened with the Black Seminoles is that they managed to negotiate a deal with the Mexican state in exchange for land and citizenship.
Karina and Dina grew up knowing little about their heritage, but are now dedicated to preserving their stories.
We knew that my grandfather on my mom and my dad's side, they were both Black Seminoles, so we didn't know anything else. That's what we're working with, my cousins and I, on, teaching the history and preserving, the tradition.
One of our cousins, Bertha Benson, had did a YouTube video for Siska, and it was talking about how the Seminole language was a lost language. And I didn't want that language to be lost, because that's part of my history, that's part of my family. So that's when I started to research more and learn about my history.
Part of remembering their traditions is traveling to Nacimiento every year on Juneteenth to celebrate with the town.
We have June 19 in Mexico, but we didn't know it as June 19. We knew it as El Baile de los Negros, El Dia del Negro. We take food, drinks, because that's mainly what it is. It's like a big party, like a big family reunion.
Celebrating Juneteenth, it's more how I perceive it. It's with my ancestors freeing themselves from slavery, unlike with the American government being the ones to initiate it. It means so much to me. It means that, for one, I am also a unique individual that comes from such a rich history that is so unknown. With the recent events that have happened here within the past years, with, of course, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all of that, I feel that I'm also a part of that community. Since we are descendants of African descent, we also tie into that as well.
Wow, that just warmed my heart. I'm giving a disclaimer right up front. If you get to know me on my channel, I do not speak in terms of, like, I don't do umbrella terms. So if I say people, I am literally speaking about those people who show themselves as a certain thing or do a certain thing or say a certain thing. I do not mean all people. Also, please bear in mind, if you are not American and you're watching my commentary about things that have to do with race or culture, I am an American. And I'm kind of brainwashed as an American, and I'm trying to decolonize my thinking, and I have been for a really long time. And and what I mean by that is we think about race, culture, and color a certain way here in America. And the more I study and the more I learn, and the more you travel, you start to learn that it's a very Western thing. It's a very American thing. Our need to box each other in about every single damn thing. With that said, I really want to encourage you guys to check out somebody called Sheck in Effect, and I'm gonna put a link to his video that he did called Black Seminoles. And the reason why I want to shout out to Sheck's channel is but I want to share his channel with you because he is doing the Lord's work over here. Like, really, he is traveling all around the globe, and mainly he's traveling to Latin countries, and he's talking about these issues of like colorism and how we see race, but how we see Black people, well, Latin people who have African ancestry, who have Black ancestry. And he himself is a Black man from Miami and speaks fluent Spanish. He is not only traveling, but bringing light to these cultural and racial issues. So I had already been looking into this, and it's the reason why this small clip came up on my feed in the first place. But it was amazing to just watch how they are celebrating their African ancestry. But I am very well aware that in Mexico, they are not Afro Mexicanos. They're not Afro anything. They're just Mexican. They're just Mexicanos. And I know that. That's something that we do in our Western culture with African American, Afro Latino, and I'm guilty. I say those things, and it's because, again, I'm American, and we're kind of brainwashed with that. And I know that is an American thing. I know that in Mexico they don't do that. But this makes me really happy because in our Latin society, our Latin cultures, no matter what you are, we have had to come to terms with colorism, and colorism exists all over the world. I can go into a big history about colorism, but it definitely has something to do with colonization and all those other things. But Mexico is no different. There has been an issue with colorism and with our own people. I personally am Mexican on my dad's side and Mexican and South American on my mom's side. I know about colorism, but I also know that me being an American is a very interesting view. We tend to put race and culture ahead of being an American. So Mexican American, African American, Black American, Asian American, and so on. It's very interesting. We have to have these categories that we live in. I am so happy to see this for Juneteenth. And for those of you that don't know, a very quick history, Juneteenth is June 19th, the celebration of the abolishment of slavery, of chattel slavery, of our human beings. That's my sunscreen. I'm getting ready to go to the pool. I love it. I love that these conversations are happening, that we are bringing light to these folks. I know a lot of Mexican people have already said, well, we've already acknowledged these people. Like, we didn't need to go out of our way. And it's like, yeah, that's true. I think us in America, though, if you are my Mexican brothers and sisters and you're watching here, for us in America, we have struggled so long with finding where we belong. Are we there? Are we here? Are we good enough? And I think that's where this need to like categorize ourselves as Westerners in America. That's where it comes from. It's this need that we have to just give ourselves a name. And so we call ourselves Latin American or Mexican American. I love you all. Thank you all for tuning in as I watched this moment for Juneteenth, watching Mexicans who have African ancestry, to see all of the Mexican cowboys, the ranchers, and see everybody's beautiful brownness being celebrated in one area of Mexico is just absolutely beautiful. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, think about liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all the stuff to get me further into the algorithm. If you like me, stick around, join the family. All right, guys, till next time. Peace.